Annette's Astrology Corner, and this is your tarot reading for the full moon that is going to be happening on April 21st in Scorpio. The full moon in Scorpio is a very, very intense, watery moon. It really dives deep into our psyche, into our minds, but more importantly, really gets us in tune with what we deeply, deeply, deeply desire. A lot comes out on a full moon. A full moon is an accumulative energy. Scorpio represents the 8th house, and the 8th house can represent, for many, like a transformation, a birth, a death, an ending. So this is definitely one of those cumulative moons that really, really emphasizes that the end of something, because it's very Scorpio type energy. I'm just going to shuffle here a little bit. And of course, you guys know after you've seen my new moon that I kind of just shuffle them a little bit here. Then I kind of move them all around. I spread my cards out, and I really just, no, that one just jumps. I look for a card that likes to stand out and be alone and to be the focal point of the reading. And to me, that represents the present we're dealing with right now. So that, of course, goes in the middle of this entire reading. Spirit always makes the card stand out like this to me. So then I split it into threes. And I just listen. Oop, this one jumps immediately to me. So I'm just going to put that on top. Atreyu, no, sweetie. Ooh, Fool. Very pretty card. Definitely signifies a new beginning or an ending. It's the 0 card starting point. Very cumulative energy. Okay. Okay, so I have sat with the cards for a little bit. I have to sit with energy unless it just jumps or it has something to do with me. But I'm really trying to do this very, very general, having nothing to do with me. I think it's interesting that this card came up again. And if you've watched my new moon tarot reading, you know that this card had come up and it had spoke to me significantly. But as you see, it's kind of in my past position. So I think some of you at the new moon were kind of looking back a little bit distressed on something that you put a lot of hard work into, and you know you're starting a new beginning. That was that new beginning feeling in Aries. And so I think that some of you are just a little distressed of having to just work that hard again, or that you put a significant amount of work in something and you had to walk away from it and start anew for some of you. But see that's, you know, in our past right here. And the card that took over the position of the blocked energy moving forward in this new moon is this card. Okay. So I love this card. To me, it's such a generous and very loving card. It is about being balanced or helping balance something. To me, this card deeply, deeply signifies that need to help somebody out, that need to bring an end to somebody's suffering and to be very, very helpful. So for some of you, what is difficult is I think you're trying to learn to balance that need to be there for others, that intense desire to sacrifice something in order to get something in the long run. I think many of you are in a point of reflection. This card right here, sorry, my dog had to use the restroom. This card right here represents, we're going on a new journey. We are optimistic. To me, this card, the full moon's cumulative energy, could be that you're just ready to move on and you're optimistic about it. I like that there's a sense of peace and harmony in this particular card for me, but there's a blocked energy. Now, the blocked energy has something to do with the future for me, because if the card is faced in this position, it means future related. If it's faced in this position, it means past related to me. But I think you're nervous. You know, Scorpio energy represents an intensity about it. You need to protect yourself. You're very, very cautious in Scorpio energy. And so you're just very mindful. You're very reserved. I like the fact that even though we have this really, really overly ambitious card in the present, that we're really we're still conservative. Our eyes are wide open. I believe a lot of that has to do with all these planets that are going to be dropping into retrograde. To me, this represents an Earth energies that are in retrograde. Conservative, reserved. They don't make a lot of drastic decisions or a lot of drastic moves. There's no need for it. It's just very, very mindful energy. This isn't a bad card to me to have, on over this overly optimistic card. I think it balances out, which is what I think that these scales deeply represent to me. I believe that if you're going to be making choices about money, choices about career, choices about anything that has some sort of sustained type feeling to me, I believe that many of you are going to be very conservative with that approach. Again, you've worked really hard in the past. You're letting go of maybe some of you are letting go of monetary gain. Maybe some of you are ending a significant project, a significant life pursuit, or you were walking away from like a relationship where there was a lot of things that had accumulated between the two of you, and you're having to start over in a more minimal type situation. I believe you're going to be very protective of your assets if it's in that sort of situation. Scorpio energy also represents shared resources. So for some of you, you're really, legally, this could be that. You could be trying to decide what's fair. What is yours? What is theirs? What's fair? You're not trying to be too stingy in this energy. You just want this brand new start. And so some of you may be having to, give a little bit more to keep the peace. I think some of you may be very interested in that. This always represents, this line of cards always represents the actual full moon's energy. If I were to put this all straight in a line. Now, of course, all of this plays into it. But to me, when I'm in this line, it represents, we have a lot of planets that are going to be dropping into retrograde. Well, we have a lot of planets in retrograde, and then we have some more that's still going to be dropping into retrograde. We have, actually, I think we only have one more after this. I've been working on future and the current, so my brain gets scrambled. But this represents retrograde energy for me through and through. I have a feeling it's very difficult for some of you still to reflect on the past. I believe that this was also in the new moon reading, I think in the same position, but over here in the advice card, I think up here is where it was. It is now playing a part, but it is some more of the past energy. So I think we're starting to accept the fact that our past is our past, and we're moving on, and we're like very, very hopeful. Sometimes when I see this card in this present position, I get a little nervous because we can be a little too grandiose with our expectations. We have a lot of trine energy moving forward, and I believe that trine makes us a little grandiose, but I love, again, we have definite cards that ground us in earth energy. That trine earth, that grand earth trine that we're having right now is going to pull us back and make us significantly more conservative. We're going to be interested in longevity. It's not going to be. So I believe the cumulative energy of all of that is yes, we want to move on. We have this, this really passionate feeling, but I believe that it's very balanced. I like also, if you look at this, that we have air represented, we have the pentacles represented, which is earth, and we have water, which this is the Cancer's card, which is a very, very significant card in this deck, and we also have cups here. But we also have fire represented. Fire energy is in this beautiful, beautiful card. I love that our advice cards are very, very significant right now. So as we're moving through this entire 30-day cycle of this full moon, I believe what we're going to be focusing on is just very, very reflective energy. Sometimes it's not going to be great to have this reflective cycle. I believe that through that comes some very good ideas, some new thoughts, a new way of looking at everything, a new perspective. Very, very Sagittarius. Saturn right now is conjunct with Mars. Mars is in Sagittarius. Saturn is Sagittarius. They're both in retrograde right now. So this just seems to me, although it's not classically representative Sagittarius, it seems to me a very Sagittarius, hopeful, optimistic, enthusiastic. I mean, that's all wonderful, wonderful Sagittarius energy in a positive light. And then we have this card here where we're going to be seriously looking at what grounds us. And this is a very, very intense card, because when you have this full moon in Scorpio water right here is going to get down to what really honestly, and for most of us, if we're very, very honest, it's home, it's family, it's some sense of our roots. It's that place where we really solidify our foundation and our mindsets, because we can't just be this energy right here all the time. And so, this is not in a good position. So for some of us, there's realizations. For some of us, this could mean we're walking away from current families and moving on to a more hopeful future. For some of us, this is putting the passion back in our life. It's putting the pieces back together, but you are really aligning with the word passion. We do have some lovely energy that's coming up, and we have a grand Earth trine that's going to be in a kite. I believe that that's really going to lift off. This air it's really going to lift off this kite. I mean, this trine, and really make it really flourish. But I think for now, when this first starts out, I just believe we're going to have a more conservative approach. We're looking for answers. We're looking for the reasons. Some of us want to know why in this energy, I believe. Some of us are looking back, and there's just this sense we worked so hard, we gave so much. And I feel that some of us don't feel like we got everything we deserved. And I believe that some of us are now going to have a much more reserved. If I'm looking at this batch of cards for the full moon, I believe some of us are in a painful state right now. There's a sense of loss. And the questions that you are asking are very significant right now as to why. When you get into Scorpio depths, when you get into this full moon, the depths of your mind really, really get deep. And so for some of us, it's very, very revealing. I believe that for many of us, there is a little bit of confusion. You had all this hope, you had all these dreams, but the reality is that there's some sort of an intensity to your situation when you start to really review your life. As we get up into this section of cards, I believe it's filled with hope. I believe that this is the dark part of Scorpio. That why me? Why is this happening? It's that, you're really looking at the dark side of the question, the have not in this energy. But when we're looking at this energy, we're looking at the light side of it. So there's definitely two sides to every Scorpio. I don't know. And there's even some people believe that Scorpio energy, there's like two types of Scorpios. And so for this one, it could be just this. This is just, I'm very, very realistic. What didn't work, I'm reflective, but I'm hopeful. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. Okay, I've got this intense situation right here. This is really, but there's this absolute fact-based, I want this, I deserve this, the passion is there, the desire is there, the need is there, and then new ideas sprout, then the new optimism, then information starts to get really, really supportive, some clarity. In this card, it's so strange. I don't see these clouds as confusion. I see them relieving confusion. So as we go through this 30-day cycle, as we start here, I believe it's just it's revealing, it's painful, it's significant. I believe as we get here, there's some clarity that happens as we go through the 30-day cycle. I believe that we have a little bit of a reality check. Something is revealed, a secret, perhaps a revelation, perhaps just you really understand your mindset, and the revelation from that mindset can be a little bit shocking. It could be an ending to some sort of significant issue that you were having. You get here, you start to realign with passion, and by then clarity starts to come. The clouds, really clear up, and for you, you start to embark on a new hopeful path. That's what that line to me means. As we get up here, this is more of the future. This is more looking into the future, that 30-day cycle of here's where I'm going to go. I believe that we have 2 pages, and I believe that this one is more about the mind and more about clarity and thought. So it's very, very optimistic, but this one is more about passion. It can be very difficult for us to decide what we deeply desire on a passionate level. There is what I believe we're going to start to understand from this particular cycle significantly is that there is a significant amount of energy attaching to what we're passionate about. And I believe that the earth trine that we have going on in this energy is going to really start to define exactly what we want on an intimate, on a passionate, desirable level, because that really is what motivates us in our lives, our passions and our desires. I mean, everybody likes to say that I think it's intellectual, but I don't think so. I think if we're really honest with ourselves, we can be in significant relationships that give us all the monetary gain that we need. They could be wonderful companions, but there's no passion. There's no desire. So you don't stay in those relationships. They often don't work out because even though, yes, they make your life really comfortable, the passion isn't there. I believe we ask ourselves these 3 significant questions right now. Balance. We want harmony. I think many of us are done with instability. And that is the question that's going on between Virgo and Pisces right now. The North Node and the South Node, Jupiter and the North Node right now is balance, harmony, getting our lives significantly. What this speaks to me, and I don't know why, I don't always see it in this card, is health. I see this card as being significant in health. So I see this as health. I see this as fire, passion, restoring your health. But I see you doing a lot of research, facing a lot of health-related issues, really, really being honest with yourself and sincere. Some of you may get some news about just how your life doesn't seem to be quite on track. And I believe that that's the reality of this. Is I believe if we've got a healthy mind and a healthy body, a healthy vessel, a healthy engine, I believe that we can really, really start to clear up our minds. See, I believe that health really significantly has to do with the physical aspect to us. I believe that if our vessel is healthy physically, then I believe that our mind soon follows. Because if we're working out, we all know that certain endorphins are released that really are antidepressants in our bodies, and hormones that are released that are antidepressants in our bodies. So you guys have to understand, you cannot solve anything without being healthy. So I think you guys need to really, really This 30-day cycle is all about slowing down, relaxing, enjoying energy, but restoring. This feels very like restoration energy, regeneration. I don't feel so much as transformation as that regenerative feeling of like, these are my situations. I'm going to take a look at it. I want to stabilize. It feels like you're trying to stabilize energy and get back to the basics in this energy. Anyhow, guys, thank you so much for watching Annette's Astrology Corner. That was the general reading for the full moon. Now I'm going to be right back to tell you how it's going to affect your moon sign, rising sign, and your sun sign. Hi, Aries. This is Annette with Annette's Astrology Corner, and this is your energetic reading for the full moon that's going to be happening in Scorpio. I am using tarot for this. This is a pretty significant full moon for you, to me, because, you know, it is all happening in the energy that rules, that Scorpio rules. So for you, this has a lot to do with transforming a mindset or focusing on a mindset or a routine, a ritual, something at work. To me, this is about expansion of consciousness. It's about being very, very realistic about perspectives. I see in this energy that some of you may be holding back in this energy, may be blocking your own progression. Maybe some of you are very fixed in mindsets, fixed in belief systems. You don't want to let go. There is this beautiful card that if you just let go of some of this blocked energy, and if you just released yourself from fixed and rigid belief systems, I believe that you could start to feel this little guy right here, and it is super significant. Look how gorgeous that card is. Doesn't it just make you want to be free and enthusiastic and optimistic? But I believe that what you end up doing to yourself is this right here. You hold on. You hold on to me, what's so sad is you hold on to mindsets that prevent anything new from coming into the picture. So I do believe that it has something to do for you with a feeling that you just can't, you don't get exactly what you want. And so I believe that you block it off and you keep yourself really reserved and you really don't allow yourself to fully open up in this energy. I believe a lot of this is in your mind. I believe a lot of this is looking back. The past is going to be significant for you. You're going to be looking back, and it is very painful to realize that you once worked at something very hard and you walked away, I think, unfulfilled. And so I believe that you're this card right now, unfortunately. You're not in aligned. You're not in balance. You where you're stuck is in your mind. There's no balance in there. So for some reason, I believe that you need to release yourself, open yourself up, and understand, forgive. I believe that this card could mean forgiveness for some of you. And I believe that if you can really attach to this card, I believe you start to unlock this energy, this beautiful, hopeful, clarity, freedom, a new mindset. To me, there is beauty in this reading. But Scorpio energy is a very, very intense energy to deal with, especially how you're dealing with it, because you really have a lot of significant mindsets to change. There's some health issues. Regulating your mind, I think, for some of you is going to be difficult. Being very, very realistic, facing something that has to do with health or balance or coping. For some of you, it's about looking ahead and trusting the future. trusting that what you're passionate about you can achieve. Believe me, I know that this is one heck of a month, but I believe that we need to turn this energy around, and it's going to be significant because the past really has a pull for you. It really is working. It's really holding you back. It's just, look, the past is the past. We learn from it. We don't resonate there. It doesn't, we don't need to stay stuck. And I believe that some of you are stuck in a pattern, in a mindset, in a belief system. And you are just, I believe that as much as I say all of that, there is a chance here for some gorgeous energy to start to restore your thoughts. This point of reflection could really make you sick of not getting what you want. This is a beautiful 30-day cycle for you. Really, really enjoy it. Reflect, slow down, relax, and just take a look at the opportunities that are before you. And release yourself from mindsets that hold you back. Hi dear Taurus, this is Annette with Annette's Astrology Corner, and this is your energetic reading for the full moon in Scorpio. Now for you, this has a lot to do with partnerships, unions. It has a lot to do with companionship. It has anything to do with significant relationships in your life. For you, I believe that there is a lot that you are dealing with on a ego-based level. I like that your ego is here. To me, you're definitely optimistic. You're definitely hopeful. You're definitely have this enthusiasm. I believe that you are releasing yourself from the past. This to me suggests that you are standing out and you are individuating yourself from your past. This little guy is looking back, and he's looking back on this reflective energy. So this reflective energy right here means that I have made progress. If I look back, I'm not this person anymore. I have gained wisdom. I have learned all my lessons and releasing myself from some karmic issues, some karmic cycles that I had. Relationships really are the way that we learn the most significant karmic lessons. And I believe that some of you have learned these lessons. Some of you are making a change. Now, is the change easy? No. Because you are the type of person that has to slowly process this stuff. Pluto is going to be dropping, Pluto drops into retrograde. And I believe what that does is it really asks us this significant question right here. You get a little conservative and you pull back and you protect yourself when you start to deal with an emotional issue through this 30-day cycle. For you, this 30-day cycle, it really is asking you to stabilize. And I believe that some of you are going to have to make an emotional commitment, or you're going to have to deal with some sort of emotional commitment. And you have to let go of being so reserved, so conservative, and you have to let go of, I know in the past you worked on things, and I know in the past you walked away and you're at that starting over point, so you're a little reserved. I also think that for some of you, and I'm just getting this reading, work. Work is making you somewhat reserved. A work situation, maybe a schedule at work. Maybe that there is something you have to take a risk. If you were to move forward, you have to take a risk. I believe the risk would be wonderful, by the way. And I believe that the risk would pay off. Look at this. It is very hopeful. I believe that you would have to be somewhat conservative with the risk, though, with information. Be very careful if this is a work-based endeavor, a project, something that you're investing in, some money, shared resources, could be something shared resources, moving in together, or a purchase of any kind. Please don't be very mindful of the purchases you make, because all the planets are in retrograde. When we start talking in Scorpio energy, there's a lot to do with emotional resources, as well, emotional investments, as well as shared resources. So I believe that you need to be very, very mindful of making commitments that may make you have to pay out. Really look at contracts. Really look at the details, because they could be quite confusing. There could be the devil's in the details to me. When the Hermit's upside down, there's a lack of wisdom, a lack of clarity, a lack of, to me, I just don't get caught up in this. I want to make this purchase. I want this overly optimistic attitude. There's a lack of wisdom. So be very, very careful about some of the commitments that you're going to be making through this 30-day cycle, especially if it has to do with some sort of shared resources, money, you're moving in, you're signing a lease, anything like that. Just be very, very, very careful with that. In this energy for some of you. When Venus is in Aries and Uranus is in Aries, we can want to attach to this energy too much. And, it's a very hopeful, but I don't look at it as the Fool's card, because this is the energy that really, we end cycles and we start brand new cycles. I mean, Scorpio is the end. It's the beginning, it's death, it's rebirth. So I believe that you're here at this very critical point, but there is a dynamic here that I definitely see. You want to get here, but there's some sort of, and there's definitely an emotional investment in it, but I believe that there is something kind of blocking in this 30-day cycle. Something will come up in this 30-day cycle regarding partnerships, unions, and some sort of emotional investment in this that you are going to have to be very, very honest. You're going to have a very clear head about. This will ground this energy, for some of you. When we get into the advice cards of the Scorpio moon, the full moon, I believe what this suggests to me is balance. For some of you, this has a lot to do with a partner balancing you out, a union, a yin and yang. I feel very yin and yang in this energy. It's somebody that really is getting you to balance your energy, or is really influencing you to balance your energy. To me, this energy is all about heart. It's about passion. It's about your soul. So I believe that some of you are going to start to reconnect, especially there's this emotional issue, but there's enough passion. Scorpio really represents, intimate desires, and more importantly, it just is such a deeply passionate energy. So I believe that some of you are really going to be evaluating what you're passionate about. This is a lot to do with your mind, guys, but I love this. This guy is just super optimistic. I just feel like the confusion, the clarity, I just believe you get so much out of this. There's just, I'm empowered in my life. I'm taking charge. I'm not holding back. It's just, I feel like he's just running free in a field. Like, it just, love this card. For some of you, this card to me, it just represents the moon for you significantly more than it does for anybody else. Again, this is just, I think you're just making a matter much more complicated than it is. I believe it has a lot to do with your mind and the past, and you're just reflecting and you're just looking at all your worries too much. And you're not focusing on the big picture, the balance in it all. you know, yes, it's important to reflect on the past and to look back, but it's also incredibly important to focus on the future. And there's some clarity that happens in between those worlds that I believe that you're going to find in this beautiful, beautiful full moon for you. Hi, Geminis. This is Annette with Annette's Astrology Corner, and this is your energetic reading for the full moon, in which I'm going to be using tarot. Now for you, I believe that you are reflective. It's funny how cards jump at me for different readings. I believe that some of you are really trying to let go in this energy. I believe that some of you are making some very significant changes in perhaps your life path. I believe that many of you are trying to stabilize your life path, and you are definitely making a new move, a new beginning. Now, this is going to significantly change your routines and rituals in this 30-day cycle. I believe that some of you are hesitating. There's a sense of, wow, you know, I worked really hard. I've invested a lot of work in maybe a career, life path, destiny. And, you know, it's so funny. I was telling you guys in the general reading, this little guy was in my new moon, and it is in your past. So although you have put in a lot of work, and it, you know, I believe that this path that you were on, this career path, I believe some of you may be starting anew. There's a new idea. There's a new hope. But you are looking back. Do you really want to let go of this investment? I believe some of you are caught here at the beginning of the new moon. The full moon in Scorpio. I believe that some of you are here. There is a sense that there's a lot of hope in you. I mean, when I love, you are this in this reading to me. It screams. But I believe that for some of you, what you need to do is to be brave and honest in this energy with yourself. Because there is something that you want and you deeply value and you're investing in. And I believe that you're looking at balancing. I just see tremendously wonderful energy. I got to tell you, I believe that you're really, really, really focused in this 30-day cycle on monetary gain, monetary needs and wants, intangible and tangible needs and wants. I believe that you're really trying to stabilize your life. You're really attaching to this trine energy, by the way. I feel deeply for you. Some of you are grounding your energy. That's really significant for a Gemini. Geminis really don't. But I love this for you. Look at this card for you. Sorry. It's very hard for me to hold these things. This card is just you through and through. Look at this 30-day cycle is going to clear away. It's going to clear up a lot of confusion. It's going to make you optimistic and hopeful. It's going to make you energized. It's going to make you feel like you're ruling the world. I believe what happens is in the beginning, I believe you kind of get it in your own way. You get in your head. I think you just get a little nervous because we have so many planets in retrograde. Your planet is going to be in retrograde in this 30-day cycle. I believe that you just want to really make sure you're making really solid decisions. But I believe as you go through, you get really overly optimistic. You get hopeful. I believe that you have a little bit of an emotional issue right here as you go through the 30-day cycle. As you align this hope with this emotional situation with home and family, I believe what it is really what you're going to have to do is really, really hone down your rituals and your routines if you're going to start to support the fact that you're kind of changing things. I believe that you just have a routine or a ritual that you need to refine here. And I believe it definitely has something to do with your past. So I believe it's something you've been kind of toying with for some time. Balance, definitely. I see that these cards are all about balance, and so there probably was an imbalance in a mindset, or maybe there was some erratic energy, or maybe you just kind of, were sporadic with yourself. But I believe that you are starting to stabilize that. I like this card at the very top. This is the future to me. This is the 30-day cycle, but this is what it's going to me, it gives me a sneak peek on the next 30-day cycle. I believe that you get balance. Look at this. These scales are here. The Chariots to me represents a lot about balancing the yin and the yang. To me, the Hierophant is all about balancing. It's all about using clarity and mind to balance your energy. I believe that what you're going to receive is just a transformation in mindsets, meaning that you're going to start to value stable energy more than this erratic blowing around, twins going in separate directions. To me, that is a transformative, significantly transformative mindset with you, because your routines and rituals may have made you kind of more self-oriented. But I believe what's going to get hard is you're going to get kind of caught up in yourself. Definitely self-optimism. You might you might need to at some point try to make these independent decisions, and I believe that could not sit well with some home and family situation. But I believe that as you start to move forward and you start to stabilize and you start to get passion, I believe you balance that out. And then in this 30-day cycle, it's a beautiful, beautiful energy for you. I love it for you. Just slow down and relax and let this energy manifest, because I believe that there's some beautiful clarity in this full moon for you. Hi, dear Cancer. This is Annette with Annette's Astrology Corner, and this is your energetic reading that I use tarot for the full moon that's going to be happening in Scorpio for you. This full moon is beautiful. It's sweet. I love this. You need this in your life. New energy, a new feeling of hope. I think that many of you, this is your card, by the way, the Chariot. Sorry, here, let me do this. The Chariot in the upright, in the advice position. These three are my advice cards. It is all about the future. Oops, for you. So I hate it. I'm a Virgo, so if these don't have exact spaces in between it, I go crazy. Sorry about that. I'm not going to get caught up in that. So anyhow, the full moon for you in Scorpio, to me, risk is enjoyable. Risk, a conservative risk. You're not about taking this plunge or anything, but I believe you're releasing yourself significantly from an overly optimistic outlook on hopes and desires, and more of that attachment to security. I believe that you're a little looser with the word security. That is important for a poor Cancer, because Cancers get so rigid and stuck in their definition of security. This is you. So in the future, I think when you first start out, there's a sense of hesitation. You're reserved. We've got planets in retrograde. You're very sensitive to energy, so you're going to slow your energy down. You're going to be very, very conservative with your choices. But what I think you are really concentrating on is balancing out your energy. Now for you, this is going to be a very transformative time, in the fact that you're really releasing yourself from some very, very rigid belief systems. I believe that for many of you, you're significantly concentrating on the yin and the yang in your life. You've definitely looked back. You've learned all your lessons. To me, I believe that some of you that kind of get stuck here when it first starts out, and that's these 3 cards, the Hermit that's in reverse. We've got a lot of reflective planets. I believe that, when you get caught in this 4 of Pentacles, it's super, super reserved. He wants to hold on to everything. He doesn't want, it's like you're caught in between these 2 energies right here of this fool that wants to rush in and just forget the past and look forward and just, release yourself and get caught up in, like you want to make all these routines and you want to make these rituals in your life and you want to get, really, you want to really embrace this new perspective, these new mindsets. But I believe that there's a sense of reality that you're not so foolish anymore. You're not too overly optimistic. You've released yourself. You'll work hard, but you're not going to work yourself to death anymore. But starting over in a brand new perspective or a brand new mindset, that takes you need to work through that type of energy. So this full moon is all about ending the mindset of, I've got to work hard and drain my energy to be this soul right here. You're not all about giving, and getting nothing back. I don't believe that for you. I believe that you're still a loving, giving soul. But I believe that you understand the yin and the yang is I need something. I still need to be at the helm of my ship. I still need to be the one that is controlling my future and my destiny. I don't believe that you're going to just selflessly give and let somebody else lead. I believe many of you are taking the lead in your life in a new way. I believe that you're adding passion and desire to your life and you're really thinking that you deserve it. To me, this energy just makes me feel so good for you because I believe that what it's doing is it's making you very fearless in this energy. It's making you, I think you're more protective in this energy, protective of what you want, protective of balance, protective of health, mindsets. More importantly, you want to remain even in your mind about something. You're not going to go in extremes anymore, light, dark. You want to remain in balance. And I believe some of you are really trying to find the correct mindset for that. And this is a beautiful moon to do that in. I believe in the past we had a lot of imbalance. I believe imbalance with your schedules, and imbalance in the workload, and imbalance in commitments. And you do not want that anymore. It's difficult to look back at the past. We're going to have all these planets in retrograde, and they are in retrograde right now by the time this moon comes in. So I believe it's good to be a little reserved, balance out this energy of being too overly optimistic with this of I've learned, I have some wisdom, I have some knowledge about how I used to live a life of imbalance. Very hopeful, beautiful, beautiful energy for you. I'm very happy to give you this reading. It's lovely. We're gaining a new perspective. We're looking at a new life, a new mindset, and we're moving forward with ourselves. Hi, dear Leo. This is Annette with Annette Astrology Corner, and this is your energetic reading, which I use tarot for the full moon in Scorpio. And for you, I think what's difficult is you're just such an ambitious energy right now. You're so hopeful. You're so geared. You got so much energy, so much enthusiasm. And I think you feel like you want to work hard and you want to attain something, and there is something that you deeply are willing to start to invest in. And you are walking, I think many of you are going in a new direction. Your mindset is, or you're very hopeful, or you're very, very enthusiastic, or I think that your mindset is very, very clear about the direction that you need to head in. And this is new. This is a new concept. Creativity, I feel deeply in this energy. But here's the thing. I see all this creativity and this like, I'm just going to go this way and do this. But I believe that for some of you, I believe that you're going to have to weigh out the price it's going to pay on home and family. Or if you have to move, if you have to relocate. This does feel like very travel-y energy for me as well. A new direction, or you have to move, or, you know, taking an opportunity is going to upset the family. For some of you, this is walking in a completely different direction. You are making decisions based on self. It's very, very independent energy. I do not see you in a couple mindset at all. And that could be why you start to have a little bit of family problems here. There starts to be an imbalance. Somebody is not being emotionally fulfilled by your mindset. You're very aligned. You're making decisions based on what you desire. And you are trying to be optimistic and look at both sides, but in the end, you are very rigid about this mindset right now. And so you're really going to start to make decisions that are based on what you need to do. There's just such an inspiration in this energy. I feel very, very creative and passionate and hopeful. So when you get like this, you tend to get overly optimistic. Maybe somebody in your family could start to, I don't know, ground your energy, give you some advice about what you're passionate about. That could not sit well. This is the 30-day cycle right here, guys. So this 30-day cycle there's a lot goes on in 30 days. A lot of different mindsets as your idea or your creative pursuit or what you're passionate about travels through the different phases of the moon and all the different energies. You go through many different phases in this thought to progress this thought. So you're reflective. I think at first you hold it in, you hold back. You don't want people to know about this new idea or this new mindset. And then you start to get super enthusiastic about it. You may tell family, it may involve family. It may, to me, there's something that when you hit this family unit, it's like a stop sign for you. And that doesn't sit well with you, because not that you're going to be obstinate, but I just believe that it's discouraging. I believe you get back on track and it works its way out. So if some of you during the 30-day cycle experience a little bit of hiccup, it's going to be very short-lived, because there's a lot of energy moving you forward. I believe that you just need to be very wise and patient in this energy. This idea, this page is looking back, this page is looking back, the Fool's looking back, and the Hermit's here. So maybe you need to reflect significantly on this hopeful idea, for this clarity, for this newness, for this idea to really flourish. And you need to be released from this. Maybe you need to, talk to people who could invest. Maybe, to me, this just represents Pluto and Capricorn. So to me, this just represents that, you really, really, really need to take the advice of an elder or of somebody significant in your life, maybe somebody older than you, to kind of stabilize this hopeful energy. Hi, dear Virgos. This is Annette with Annette's Astrology Corner, and this is your energetic reading for the full moon that is going to be happening in Scorpio. Now for you, I believe that for some of you, I believe that you're freeing up your mind. You're releasing yourself. I believe that the expectation that you used to have, you're starting to become balanced with. You're very hopeful and enthusiastic, and for some of you, I don't know why I see somebody from the past coming back in the next 30-day cycle. We do have a lot of significant planets. Mercury is going to retrograde on the 28th. So maybe you have some conversations with somebody from the past, maybe somebody from your youth that really understands you and really kind of ends karmic cycles. The karmic cycle of you being reserved, misunderstood, not being appreciated fully, putting in a lot of work in significant relationships only to walk away from with very little appreciation. I believe that you, whatever it is in the past that comes up within this next 30-day cycle, I believe it's going to clarify the past and really release you from some sort of little karmic wound that you have, something that you nurture, something that kind of blocks your energy and makes you a little bit reserved. Something's going to come up. It's beautiful. Whatever it is. I love the energy. I believe that some of you are still kind of managing the home and family situation. I believe that there's something that's going on, something that needs to be refined. To me, these cups are empty. So there's some sort of emotional issue that comes up. So this is just this 30-day cycle to me. This is what this represents. Reflective energy, looking back, not feeling so hot about it. Realism. Maybe there's some accountability about the past. Kind of releases you, lets you go, lets you think of things in a new perspective, opens up your mindsets about the past. I believe that some of you, then you start to probably manage your future a little bit different with home and family situations, but this puts the passion back in your life. It restores you. It makes you empowered to do so. The 30-day cycle is definitely a transformative cycle. Anytime you have the full moon in Scorpio, it's transformation, it's regeneration, it's death, rebirth, it's death, rebirth, it's endings, beginnings. It is the ultimate full moon to me. So you will go through many phases this month of clarity, but I believe you get here, and this, my friend, is a lovely card for you. This is freedom of thought. This is clarity. This is enthusiasm. This is a release. This is, you're looking back at the past, you've conquered whatever it is. There's some sort of ending that you've conquered the mindset. It's not like you are going to resonate and suffer there. It's like you're going to go through this cycle and conquer whatever it is. Very strange twist to the reading. Anyhow, yin and yang come in. You're very balanced after this. You can embark on a new future. There is a sense of empowerment. Again, I feel very powerful here. I believe the past, there was an imbalance. I believe you just worked too hard. You worked harder, but not smarter. And this energy, you just not only work smarter, it plugs you back in. It's enthusiastic and it really stabilizes this. But more importantly, I see balance. Scales here. You give a little, but you receive. I believe there's just a lot of beauty in this reading for you. Very, very pretty reading. Lots of interesting energy. I believe that for some of you, this is just really, really deeply going to ground some of this energy that when you first start out doesn't feel altogether good to me. Perhaps some of you may have to move or to start anew, or you're holding on to like, ooh, I was in this job, I was in this mindset, and so you're just rigid, but you get released from all that. Beautiful, beautiful reading. Hi Libra, this is Annette with Annette's Astrology Corner, and this is your energetic reading for the full moon that is going to be happening in Scorpio. Now for you, this is a beautiful, beautiful full moon. Lots of powerful, positive energy in there. I think for me, I believe that you have a new mindset. I believe that you're very independent in this energy. What's funny about you is whenever I see energy, I always think of a pairing, but I don't see you connecting on the level where you define yourself through a partnership, which is technically you, but you're independent in this energy. You're free, you're feeling good, you're making your own decisions, and you're having others follow along with your lead in this energy. You're very, very spontaneous. You're making changes and you're expecting people to follow along in this energy. I believe that some of you are giving and loving and trying to balance, but you're not balancing at the expense of yourself. Meaning, you'll give some great advice, you know. You'll give you'll give something that takes a lot of commitment and will help them out, but you're not doing it at the expense of yourself. In this card, what I think, this is a balanced card to me, because if you see that, there's one person that's still in need and the other person is getting what they need. This is significant to me because it's pointing toward the future. No longer are you just giving and not receiving. You are knowing when to stop, which is completely significant, because here's the thing. What you value is a release of energy at this point. Freedom, clarity, feeling good. You are very, very indulgent in this energy. This is about passion. This is about being appreciated. This is about balance. This is about enjoying the yin and the yang in your life. This, to me, I feel very good about your energy. Yes, there is a home and family situation that is of some concern. This home and family situation, there is a lack of stability. Ooh, somebody could be definitely having a drinking problem, or you could have a drink. But I definitely feel like it's somebody that is either not emotionally imbalanced, is not, or has some sort of coping issue that's affecting the family that you're kind of at this point getting a little bit sick of. I don't believe that's hanging you up at all. I believe what you're thinking about is you. Totally about you in this energy. You want what you want. You're attaching a lot of significance to the earth trine that's going on right now. That earth trine, you are about stabilizing energy. You are not about putting up with anything that doesn't create some sort of longevity for you. For you, if you feel that you will not progress in energy, you could be the type of person that makes a drastic decision to be independent, to walk away from something that no longer serves you. Especially if there's no longevity, if your tangible needs and intangible needs are not being met, you could be that person that just walks away and stands very, very independently by yourself. You're done. I can do it. I have made plans. I have lots of really good ideas. And if this person can't get it together, then I feel like some of you are just not having it. Because I believe that you don't want the imbalance in your life anymore. You don't want to work, get nothing. You don't want to be reserved. You want to feel everything. You're very, very indulgent in this energy. And you certainly don't want the imbalance in your life when you are all about maintaining balance. So I think what this is definitely doing is attaching you to what you value in partnerships, unions, and relationships, what they're taking from you, what you want from them. And you could make some drastic decisions in this energy. You're looking at your past. You're not repeating karmic cycles anymore. So for some of you, the clarity is there. Hi, Scorpio. This is Annette with Annette's Astrology Corner, and this is your energetic reading, which I use tarot for the full moon in Scorpio. Hey, guys, your full moon, and look what is in your full moon. This beautiful, hopeful, sweet, energetic, lovely card. You are enthusiastic. I think that you are definitely on fire in this energy. I think you are definitely aligned with yourself. You know what you want. You're hopeful, not looking back, releasing yourself from the past. I believe some of you could be a little too enthusiastic in this because of all this Scorpio energy making you feel pretty authentic. I believe that some of you are going to be stubborn and rigid in a mindset. You're going to hold on to a perspective in this energy, and you are not going to yield kindly in this energy. If some of you want to question this, if some people question your outlook right now and feel that you are going in the wrong direction, I don't think you're going to care, especially if it's somebody in your home and family. I believe for some of you, what it is somebody could, in your home and family, could question a ritual or routine, a mindset, and you're not going to be having it in this energy. This is all about ego in this energy. This new moon, this full moon for you is about getting you back on track with yourself. For some of you, I believe balance will be what you achieve. I believe that you'll go through this reflective cycle, then you'll go through this hopeful cycle, then you'll go through this problem, and then you'll get to your passion. So I definitely believe it's up and down. But I definitely believe that for you, I think what it does is it starts to really make you appealing. For some of you, you're gonna be very appealing in this energy. You're gonna get a lot of attention, but that's not your goal. Like, you're not interested. You're just interested in stabilizing yourself and moving forward. I believe that for some of you, I believe that what's going to happen is I just see you being very sweet and generous in this energy. I really do. I see you being, look, I see you when it first starts out being very conservative. I think when you look back, when the retrograde energy, when you feel the retrograde energy, when Pluto drops into retrograde, I believe you're going to have a hiccup. I believe what's going to happen is you're going to reflect. Oh, you didn't get enough of something. And I believe it makes you feel a little bit vulnerable. And I think you're going to be super protective as you reflect, especially when it involves stabilizing your foundation. I believe many of you are in a problem-solving mode. I believe that you really want to secure something, and you have a new hopeful outlook as you move through the 30-day cycle. You get a hiccup. Maybe something doesn't emotionally feel good. Maybe you're not feeling emotionally fulfilled in this energy. This energy is a very decadent energy for me. I would be mindful of taking risks and being too overly optimistic, because I think it could, whatever it is, could impact the family during this 30-day cycle. So what I think you want to definitely do is concentrate on the yin and the yang of every idea, of every new mindset, of every optimistic outlook. Just pro and con it. Really look at the dark and really look at the light. You're super good at this. So this is how you succeed. I believe it's gonna behoove you significantly to concentrate on the pro and con of every decision that you're making, because you are in a hopeful mindset and you could get a little too passionate and a little too intense about moving forward. Just be mindful of that. They can lead to imbalances, but more importantly, what I think is super significant in this energy that I just want to be very, very mindful of is this enthusiastic energy. It's a very youthful mindset. Wisdom is actually something that I think you need to attach to. So maybe the dark and the light is life experience and new energy as well for you. Hi Sagittarius, this is Annette with Annette's Astrology Corner, and this is your energetic reading for the full moon that is going to be happening in Scorpio now for you. The Hermit represents Sagittarius. elevated thinking, wisdom, knowledge. And I believe that some of you you're just so enthusiastic in this energy. It's such a beautiful reading. Reflective energy is difficult because I believe what it does is it makes you think of the have-nots, and then you have all this energy right here making you think of, oh, I can have everything I want. And I believe that there's an imbalance in those two mindsets. Ego will make you want to just go forward, move ahead at all costs. You're like the locomotive, and you're just, you're just pressing on the gas or whatever it is that locomotives use, and you're just, I don't know, you just like to go forward and just, you don't care about the consequences. I think in this energy that could impact during this 30-day cycle, that hopeful mindset could significantly impact the family. Some emotional situation may come up because you're thinking very independent in this energy. You are very caught up in yourself in this energy. Be mindful of getting too focused on yourself and holding back. You need to be loving and compassionate. Not everybody is as secure, confident, and mindful of their ego as you are. You are very secure with yourself, but somebody in your life isn't, and you just need to be very, very mindful of that. I bet you that has something to do with the past. I bet you've came across this before as all these planets fall into retrograde. Just be very mindful of that. I believe that for some of you, I love this. I'm going to say this straight up for you. This is beautiful. You're really transforming your mindsets. You're really, really growing in this energy. Look at how beautiful. You're all hopeful, still ambitious, working for the next goal, focused on your career, life, path, destiny. But guess what? You're still looking at somebody who needs you and still providing that. So this family situation is going to come up, but I believe you're going to take care of it. It's opposition. It's not a square. So I believe you're getting so much better at balancing all of this energy. I believe that there's a lot of progression. Of course, there's a lot going on in your mind that you are not making everybody privy to. You're reserved. There's worries. There's concerns. There's fear. I definitely see fear for some of you. But I also believe that, as you're externalizing, you're really attaching to the energy around you, and you're really starting to feel this optimism and this hope. What's significant about this is the routine that you're changing. There's such a balance in it. And I'm so proud of you because it takes a lot to be able to be as ambitious and successful and as enthusiastic and opportunistic as you, but still be mindful of your security and of the security of others and the fact that people can rely on you. You're doing that so much better in this reading. Beautiful energy. Thank you so much. This is wonderful to look at. Hi Capricorn, this is Annette with Annette's Astrology Corner, and this is your energetic reading for the full moon that is going to be happening in Scorpio. Now for you, wow. Okay, so here's what I see. There is a difference. You're balancing two worlds right now. I believe what you are doing is you are looking ahead, but you are looking back equally. And I believe that you're trying to gain the wisdom and the balance between a new perspective and an old mindset. Hope is really flourishing It's a beautiful energy for you. This card is your present. But look at this card. So that card to me signifies somebody who's super overly optimistic, youthful minded. You know, they don't have a lot of wisdom associated with their actions. It's just all enthusiasm. This energy is blocking that energy, but I believe that's the yin and yang of the energy. So this energy suggests, hey, I've learned my lessons. I'm holding back. I'm going to make calculated decisions. We have an earth trine. The earth trine is very, very resourceful. It's very stable. You're really concentrating on the big picture. You don't want to make foolish decisions moving forward headstrong without really reviewing your past. You're not like that. Saturn's your ruler. You're in control of both mindsets in this energy. And I like that. Significantly, what this says to me is that many of you are going to release yourselves from this feeling, this need of, I need to be conservative. You're going to be able to be this ambitious creature, but have wisdom. And when you balance those two worlds, that really is this card. Then you really align with your passions and you really clarify what you need and what you want. Mutable T-squares are difficult energies to deal with, but I believe for you, the mutable T-square is going to add enough opposition to make you conservative, enough opposition to make you mindful of the past equally, as well as mindful of this ambitious mindset that I see here for you. I believe that many of you are going to really, really start to define the way that you view stability. Looking back is difficult. Looking at patterns, looking at cycles, looking at the way that we do things, and adding and being hopeful and optimistic, and aligning yourselves with your dreams and your wishes. For the fact that you can still do that as you've had all of this energy and contemplation is wonderful. It's very, very elevated thinking, by the way. Does it always feel good? No. Through the 30-day cycle, I believe that you're going to go through many phases, ups and downs. This is it's like that kind of energy to me. But I believe that you start to balance in between the yin and the yang in life, the dark and the light mindsets, the past and the future, hope and, that you've been let down in the past. And you start to achieve balance. And you start to understand what to give and what to receive in this energy. To me, this is such a lovely, lovely, lovely energy. There's a lot of release in this energy, and hope and optimism and clarity that comes out of this incredible full moon. Hi, this is Annette from Annette's Astrology Corner. This is your energetic reading, dear Aquarius, for the full moon that is going to be happening in Scorpio for you. Now, this full moon is incredibly significant because I believe this full moon is all about transforming a mindset for your future. I believe that in the past so here was my past card. This was the new moon reading. It was in the same position. It was a blocked energy up here. So it was blocking kind of the future mindset. But I believe it's like this now. It's in the past. Looking back serves a purpose for a while, but then it doesn't. And this is a thing of the past, but it does make you somewhat reserved right now and conservative. It makes you very, very decisive. You are making very, very slow decisions about how you want to proceed forward, which I like, which really balances out this card. This card to me is just foolhardy. It's excited. It's opportunistic. It's just, let's do it. Think about the consequences later. New ideas, fresh starts. But I believe that you have the wisdom of the past. And so I'm not saying it feels good. What you're feeling is some sort of progression moving forward. When you start to align yourself with hope, again, what really happens is fear starts to sneak in there, and it starts to say, well, you were hopeful this last time, and look what happened to you. You didn't get what you wanted. There was an imbalance. Mentally, it did not align with you well. But I believe that for some of you, you're releasing yourself from that. What you're trying to do is stabilize your energy, not make it so erratic. You need to release yourself from disappointment or expectation or a rigid mindset or something that you valued that no longer serves you. And that's very hard. But if you did, of course, you'd go through this beautiful 30-day cycle right here, which is, yeah, you get stuck here when it first starts out. Scorpio energy, when you first feel it's a bit intense, it can make you slip into the dark energy very, very easily. It can make you think of the have-nots instead of the haves. Very, very intense, especially if some of you are not in line with what's going on in the universe. But if some of you are, so you might get stuck there for a little bit, but then you get optimistic, hopeful, energized. We have lovely, lovely energy. We have trines. We have a kite. We have lots of blessings that you're going to attach to very, very easily. Then I believe for some of you, you start to align with hope and you start to get really hopeful, and then you kind of slip back here and you think, last time I was hopeful, the last time I emotionally invested like that, I was disappointed, you know. And you start to feel like you need to isolate yourself and be independent and just be out there alone making all of these decisions alone. But I don't believe that the universe has that in store for you whatsoever. I believe what it's trying to do is to make you learn the balance between, you know, the light and the dark here. It's trying to make you learn the balance between the wisdom of the past and the future and optimism. It's trying to put you at a level that can create stability. That's what all these earth trines are about, is just longevity of your mindset. I believe that what comes out of this is this beautiful card right here. And I believe what that suggests to me is that you'll give only so much and then you know when to stop in this energy. And I believe that that's very, very important, because you're not mentally investing in something that won't pay off. What you need to do is feel confident that if you were to make decisions again to invest in a person, in a relationship, in a situation, a partnership, a union, an emotional investment, that you would have the perspective of knowing when to quit and when to walk away. You need to know that you have that control over your life. And I believe that many, many, many of you are really trying to understand that. So what you're really trying to do is walk on a brand new road and feel confident that what you see, you don't have to protect yourself from. And that's very important to do in energy, but more important, what it does is transform mindsets. It really pulls out the Scorpio energy at its highest, and it really allows you to really be realistic about optimism and realistic about being let down and disappointed. It puts you in the middle so that you're not swinging from extreme to extreme and this ego-based denial that sometimes can happen when we get an energy like this. Beautiful energy, beautiful mindset as we go through this 30-day cycle. Yes, it feels like this. But boy, as soon as you get over this hump right here, that 30-day cycle, you really start to get empowered. You really start to align with balance. Health gets really stable. I think I feel mentally like you're empowered in these two cards. And then I really think clarity comes and you push off and you become independent and just your bad butt Aquarius self again. This is your energetic reading for the full moon that is going to be happening in Scorpio. Now for you. Woohoo! This energy is decadent, lovely, yum, yum, yum. Neptune in Pisces is going to be trining the full moon in Scorpio. This is water energy at its finest. Hope. Here's you. If I would pick out a card for a Pisces, tell me that doesn't represent a Pisces. Childlike, energetic, happy, enthusiastic, creative, dreamy, overly optimistic. Totally what I see of every Pisces that I've ever known. Like, what I like about this full moon is that we have Saturn grounding you. Woohoo, keeping you here. Okay, so we had the Fool as the main card, as the present, but we have this one blocking its energy. Yay! Yes, this isn't the greatest card, but you know what I like about it? Stabilizes the Fool. It makes us think. Saturn really pulls you back and says, okay, I know you have this really great mindset. Maybe it's a past-based mindset. These, the Page of Swords, the Fool, and the Page of Wands are all looking back in the past. You're really, you have a tendency to be too optimistic or unrealistic about new ideas, hopes, something that charges you. But you have this beautiful Four of Pentacles here that says, okay, if you want this idea, you've got to go through this mindset. You've got to go through Saturn and Mars in retrograde. You've got to filter it through the past. Have you made this decision before? How successful was that mindset? Was there longevity involved? Was there what did you do wrong in the past with this idea that you are not going to pull into the future? It really dissects out ideas. So yeah, is it a little humbling to have this energy here? We've got the Hermit, obviously in reverse. I drew this card and I was really attached to this card in the new moon, and it came up in the full moon as well. This is a thing of the past, but what Saturn's really trying to do and Mars is really trying to do is stop you from working so freaking hard and getting nothing. Or stop you from being too overly optimistic and having all this enthusiasm and then it not paying off. It's really trying to make you in perspective. More importantly, what it does is it connects you to this card, which is a gorgeous card. It's the advice card, and it says stable. Look at the dark, look at the light, look at the past, look at the future. Really stabilize your thoughts before you proceed forward. We have all these planets that are going to be in retrograde right now. You need to ground your energy. Earth, lots of Earth. This card is beautiful. It represents Earth, and this is the sweetest card of the whole entire thing. You think it would be the Fool, but it's this one. Why I like this one is because it's pointing toward the future. And it says that you're going to work, that you're going to be compassionate and loving, you're going to give, you're going to receive. It may not be a bountiful, immense harvest, but it is going to be stable and have longevity. And it's going to be something you can completely build a life off of. If we think about how unstable is building a house on stilts on a cliff. At some point, especially in the state of Washington, we get all these rainstorms. There are mudslides all the time. If you build your house on stable ground, the scales, the dark and the light energy, the balance between the pentacles and this overly enthusiastic, if you build your foundation on stability, on flat ground that's solid and supportive, all of this energy flows so much easier. So yes, you're probably going to get somebody, a partner, home and family member. It could be somebody that you are emotionally investing in, that you admire, that really honestly, you're trying to work toward the future, that says, hey, hold up. Discourages you a little bit, stabilizes you. I'm not saying it's going to feel perfect. You've got the past giving you revelations, and then you've got this enthusiasm, but you've got this, and then you've got this little situation that you're going to go through. It could be that some of you just need to really concentrate at home and stabilize your home and stop doing things to excess. Some of you are doing something to excess that's kind of causing a problem in the home. There's a little bit of emotional unfulfillment. But then this energy really is what you're attaching to, because you're such a cute little Pisces. You really attach to hope, this feeling that you are empowered, you're really passionate, creative, And I like that the Queen of Wands is looking at the Page of Swords and the Page of Swords is looking at the Queen of Wands, because these two guys, this is youthful energy with wisdom. This is passion with clarity of thought. Very significant reading for you if you're going to move forward. This is about endings and beginnings. It's about transformation, regeneration, and it's about the death of mindsets. So when we're in a Scorpio moon like this, although it's super positive for you, you've got to be mindful, of course, the shifting waters, the turbulent waters at times, to provide you with this beautiful, beautiful ending toward this 30-day cycle. Anyhow, guys, thank you so much for watching Annette's Astrology Corner, and I look forward to talking to you guys again on the next astrological event.